Hello and a very warm welcome back to the Spirit of Abundance Retreat. It is a pleasure and an honour to be here with you, your retreat host. I'm Ariella Indigo, and I am joined by a beautiful, beautiful, incredible guest today. I can't wait to share her energy with you. First, I want to show you in proper retreat style. I have got my herbal tea here. As you can see today, I'm drinking out of this rather cosmic looking elf cup, and I hope that you have something nice your end as well. If you don't, then maybe pause this and go and grab yourself a nice cup of tea or something. I've also got my journal with me, so I will be writing down any insights and aha moments that I have as we go through this session today, and again invite you to do the same thing. And because this is a retreat, and we will be activating you very much in today's interview, particularly with what Mona is going to share with you, but we're also very much bringing spirit into this online retreat. So I've pulled a card for you, and this is from my new Oracle card deck, and it's actually one of the creation codes that I work with. So Mona, you know this well because you are very much attuned to the creation codes. We're working together on this, and it's number 5, creation code number 5, which is all about divine spirit. So I thought that was very cool, a message for everybody, just saying spirits are working with us indeed during this retreat. And I believe many of you are going to receive downloads and insights and intuitions, because creation code number 5 is a very, very psychic creation code. I think you have some of this going on, don't you, Mona?
Absolutely, I do.
Yes, in your blueprint. Yeah.
Yes.
So a nudge for us all, Okay, beautiful. So, well, I would love to introduce the incredible Mona Naidu with you now, who is joining us, who's a dear friend of mine. I've also had the pleasure and honour of being a guide to Mona for these past 6 months since we met at the Sedona retreat. And Mona is seriously impressive. I mean, she really, really is. As a mentor, Mona is like, she's my ideal avatar. She's my ideal client avatar. And often when I'm like writing to my audience, and when I'm thinking about products and services, I often visualize Mona as the type of client that I'm wanting to attract, because Mona not only takes the coaching and follows it, but she also like takes it to the next level. I mean, she's got so much energy, so much passion. She's somebody who is, like me, has that divine drive going on. Like, she knows that she's here on a mission. She knows that she has a purpose to share in the world. She knows that she has incredible gifts, and it's the same for all of us. We all have incredible gifts that we're all here uniquely to share with the world. And what I love about Mona is that she is 100% committed to activating those gifts, and not only activating those gifts in herself, but also activating those gifts in every single person that she meets. So she is a real force. She is a real force for positive change in the world. I truly believe that Mona is one of our next global leaders in this world. The reason that I have invited her to give a session today to us in this retreat is not only because she's incredible, but because Mona is particularly turned into helping people to activate their abundance. So Mona actually is an abundance activator. She has the codes. I also have some codes going on around abundance. So I know that the two of us collaborating today is going to be a very activating session for you all who are watching this. And that is our clear intention that we have made. So Mona is an abundance activator. She's a human rights advocate. She's a philanthropist. She's one of the most generous women that you're ever going to meet in your life, you know, and that's me just sharing that with you. She absolutely is. She's also a human behavior specialist. She's from South Africa, and she's one of the leaders that is shifting the consciousness big time out there in South Africa. And I believe it won't just be South Africa, it will also be the world. And it's all about helping us to activate these incredible abundance codes and gifts that we have inside of us, which is why I have invited her to share her abundance and gifts with you today. So Mona, a very, very warm welcome to the retreat.
Thank you, Ariella, for that generous introduction. I was wondering, who is Ariella talking about? So I'm here in sunny Johannesburg, South Africa. And what I do is I help new paradigm female leaders to be in flow and to have conscious leadership and management of their money. Female leaders hire me so that they can live a life of significance, impact, abundance, and fulfillment. And I do this through individual coaching programs, group coaching programs, workshops, and retreats. And I just love activating people. Like Ariella said, I've just got so much of energy to just pour into everyone that I think it's a good way that I'm using up this energy, just sharing it with everyone that I possibly can. And philanthropy, that's what I get my clients to activate within them, because you see, it's so important that we have abundance all around us. But when you can share it with others, you can give. And the more you give, the more comes to you to give. So that's the philosophy I live by. The more I give to my clients, the more my clients can give to everyone that they serve. So thank you, Ariella.
Yeah, no, you're so welcome. And it's very interesting, isn't it, how that manifests. You're saying about like the abundance duplicating itself. That has also been my experience as well. And for Mona and I have been working together, as I say, for the past 6 months. And I'm very tuned into these creation codes, looking at people's soul blueprints. Every single person has creation codes. We're all coded with these divine gifts. I know Mona's blueprint pretty well because I am mentoring her, and she has a lot of 4s in her blueprint, as do I. I'm a 13-4 in soul destiny. The 4 is the abundance code. It's the money code. And what I found interesting, and I see it in you so much, Mona, is, and I had been doing this myself just intuitively for years, just leading with generosity, like you said earlier. And doing that because I enjoy giving. Yeah, I enjoy it. I've always really loved giving, like at Christmas time, finding that special present, when I was younger for my parents, and, all of these things. I love, always the first at the bar, it's that type of thing. And I come to know it's a 4 thing, right? It's a 4 thing because we're not doing it consciously, but there's kind of a resonance. We know that the more that we give, the more that we receive, and the more that we receive, the more we can give. And then everybody starts being activated together. Like we all start receiving. Is that also been your experience?
Absolutely, Ariella. And I think there's something, like you say, there's something that drew us both together.
Yeah.
Because like-minded people find each other. And I love what you just said now. It's the more you give, you just get more and more and more. And when you describe my energy, it doesn't matter where I go. That just it's duplicated, and there's just so much to give. Yeah. And I love that. And that's part of teaching people about the philosophy about abundance, what abundance really is about, because there's just so much to give. And if we can get that out into mainstream society, if we can get that message out that there is so much to give, and it just keeps duplicating. It's as if you've got to create new space to hold everything that you're getting in.
So I love this. And also, I have this dual awareness, and I know that you have a great answer to this, if that is the case, right, why aren't we all already overwhelmed by abundance? Why is there some countries, and you know, you're in South Africa, so you know this more than most, who haven't yet been able to activate this level of abundance? So why is that the case, do you think? And how can we change this in the world? Because abundance is not just meant for the few, right? It's for all of us. We know that.
Absolutely correct, Ariella. Well, think about it. Abundance is free for everybody to experience and to enjoy. And let's first start with the concept of abundance. Mm-hmm. When we speak abundance, most people think we are only talking about money or monetary financial wealth and things that we accumulate around us. But abundance deals with your relationship to everything. It's your relationship with yourself, relationships with others, relationship with your money, relationship with spirituality, relationship with your society, your contribution to society, relationship with time, relationship with energy, relationship to your health, your wellness. It is that vast, but because it's as if we are in some sort of hypnotic state where we as society have come to believe that abundance is only about money and it's limited. And that's why when I activate people, I get them to see the simple things that's around them through the simple action steps that you take to activate this abundance. Now, in a place like South Africa and most of the world where we have these challenging circumstances, people have been told to think that way, to think that there's less. Somehow along the years that have passed, for many hundreds of years actually, people have been told to think small. Now, when you were taught not to think as an expansive human being, you started limiting your capacity in every way, how you view life, how you see yourself, how you see others. And that restriction of our view of ourselves and others resulted in us experiencing lack in the physical, in our mental, in our spiritual, in everything we do. So in some way, it's as if we as humanity have been suppressed in our ability to see and experience and have more in all aspects of ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I agree. I mean, I agree with everything that you've just said. And I've also experienced and witnessed myself. Take, for example, a few years ago when I was going through my huge transition, when I left corporate, I had this massive mystical, supernatural experience that put me onto this whole new path. When I left corporate, I went traveling around Central America for a couple of months around the Mayan site. So we went to Guatemala and we traveled around Guatemala and actually in Mexico as well. And it was an incredible journey. And we visited some very poor villages, you know, whilst we were traveling. The thing that struck me, and this was at the time, you know, think about this, I was exiting corporate. I'd had a very well paid job as a business manager in corporate, you know, 6-figure salary, luxury London lifestyle, this incredible flat that I'd just left and I'd given all of my stuff away, you know, all of this crazy stuff that I had in my flat that I'd spent a fortune on, right? It meant nothing to me. I was going through this experience, gave it away. And here I was traveling around some of the poorest villages in the world. And what I couldn't get over was the smiles on people's faces. You know, the love that was in their hearts that you could see happening, like in their families, in the communities, the school children who are running. And it's like, I'm looking at them going, you guys have way less than I've had in my life. But why aren't I then walking around with a smile as big, if not bigger than yours? And I wasn't. And that blew me away. Do you see that? So like, it must be, how is it in South Africa? I've never been to South Africa.
South Africa is a country that people it doesn't matter where you go to, you will be greeted. You will be greeted with a smile. And everybody that comes here, now, I mean, the best part is that you get so much value for your money in South Africa if you're earning in pounds and euros and dollars. But the people, there's such a warm culture, and you are so correct. My husband and I work a lot in what we call our marginalized communities, what in mainstream you would say the poor communities. Mm-hmm. And the biggest smiles from the children, the biggest smiles from the people. There's just this giving nature. It doesn't matter that I may not have something physical to give you, but I can give you something physical in the form of my smile and what I share with you from my heart. Mm-hmm. And I found that not just in South Africa, but other parts of Africa as well. When I climbed Kilimanjaro and we went to Tanzania, and the same thing was there. The people just gave you these big, broad smiles constantly. And I guess that's what it is. It's that sharing of abundance. They already have it, but they don't even realize that that's what they're doing.
You think that's it? They don't realize this abundance, or they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, it doesn't sort of make sense, right? It's like, you know, you come to London and you'll see a lot of like bankers walking along the street, you know, earning 7 figures a year, but they will ignore you on the street and, you know, maybe not even smile at you. But they, you know, they have all this, it's like crazy, isn't it? What is, how things are, what is your take on that?
Well, that's just it, right? You know, sometimes you may see that banker and you may think he's earning this big fat salary, but does he really keep that money, or is he a broke, wealthy banker?
Yeah.
You see, because you can bring the money in, but do you know how to keep it?
Mm-hmm.
And these people that you go all over the world, whether it's in, you know, Southeast Asia, or as you said, whether it's South America, wherever you go, or Africa, mm-hmm. there's constant smiles because that's what they do have to offer you. Mm-hmm. And they give it generously. Now, just imagine if we activated them to attract money, to understand that money is not something to be afraid of. Mm-hmm. Imagine what they would do with it, because right now, for example, in South Africa, there are so many people who give their money for other worthy causes. And they give it with the biggest smile. And they don't care whether they don't have something for themselves. They give it away, you know, but with such generosity. And like you said, that banker could have some serious problems. He may have a huge mortgage. He may have a car payments. He may have a couple of girlfriends or whatever on the string that is taken care of. And here this person here in South Africa just has minimal, sometimes 10 pounds is too much that they may be even getting per month.
Wow.
And they've got to take care of a family of 4.
Whoa.
Yes. That is how, you know, challenged some people in their homes are. And it's for a vast majority of the people in South Africa. But yet you'll still get that smile because it does not cost you anything mm-hmm. to offer somebody a smile.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. We need to do a swap, like the two worlds need to come together, right?
Yep.
So here you are in South Africa. You have managed to activate your abundance. So the first question is, why do you think that is for you personally? And then the second question is, how can other people who are watching this from other parts of the world, how can they start activating theirs?
Well, in South Africa, like most countries across the world, you have different, you know, people on different social statuses. And I grew up, as a matter of fact, in an environment, because in apartheid South Africa, we were all put in different areas according to our race. Now, it didn't matter whether you had money in that specific race or you didn't have, you were all just put in a specific area. And that was when the Group Areas Act was alive. So wherever we grew up, we were the same type of people. We didn't mix at that stage. It was only around the late 80s, early 90s that those, the Group Areas Act changed. So you grew up with similar type of people. Now, there's one thing that we were taught in the Indian community. My ancestors come from India. And that is how to work with your money. How not to take credit and just live off credit, but to work with your money. You were taught to go to school, get good grades. Now we can talk about that on another level. Go to university, get a good job, and be a professional. Mm-hmm. But the thing is this, we were taught how to be good with money, how to make your money expand, how to make your money stretch. You know, it's almost like our moms were geniuses with the little money that they had. Mm-hmm. And that's part of it. You were told how to experience more. You were told to live like a king and a queen on the little salary that you have. So that's the type of community I grew up in. Mm-hmm. We may have had little, but we were always taught to aspire for greater things. Mm. And to, like I say, to let everything, your food, when you went to the shops, you got so much more value for the money when you bought food. And when you cook that food, you know, in today's society, maybe 4 people can eat comfortably, but we were taught that 10 people could eat from the portion that you would cook. So it's having that aspiration, and that's how most of the South African society, those of us that are in the middle and upper classes now, if I can call it that, in South Africa, we've all come through that background. We've all, the majority of us, I would say, have come through that background where we've worked for what we've had. We have put in the hours, we've put in the energy, we've educated ourselves. And I guess we educate ourselves differently now, not just in the academic field, but in the spiritual aspects of our being as well. Mm-hmm. So for me, there's been this inner drive. I guess in a way, we're speaking in a community where we can speak freely. And there's a deep knowing inside of you. Even when you are in a community where people may be a bit different, you know there's something different about you. Mm-hmm. And money has always been like a fun aspect for me. Money and everything around me that was beautiful and just overflowing. And that's how I got to experience life in its limited form.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I didn't know that about you either.
Okay.
But that was really cool for me to listen to and get to know you a bit more. That's incredible. And I honor your journey and like everything that you have done to transmute that energy for yourself. And I think you're just such a beautiful embodied example now to inspire other people to do the same. So let's talk about money, and for the viewers watching, how they can start to shift their consciousness around money, because I think all of us, even if you are, you know, having the most incredible life, you've activated like huge amounts of abundance in all forms, including inner abundance, I think there's always more and more. So like, let's talk about money and how people who are watching this, what are the first steps that people can look at to actually look forward to and welcome this abundance into their life?
Okay. Now, the very fact that we've used the word money, now there's going to be some of the viewers who are going to be cringing with this. And if you are, celebrate it, because it means you've got something to shift. And you're so correct, Ariella. For each of us, it doesn't matter where our money status is right now. We all have the next level. If you're a millionaire, your next level may be a multi-millionaire. Then you've got a billionaire. Then you've got to be a trillionaire, or wherever you want to go. Because the truth is this, we have been told to be afraid of money. Mm-hmm. And many of us come from many lifetimes of oaths and vows and whatever we may have experienced where we've been told to be afraid of money. And if you look at society, and for how many hundreds of years, what actually controls society right now? Money. And money has been told to be looked at in a negative way. Mm-hmm. But think about it, money is neutral. Mm-hmm. It is somebody behind the money. Somebody uses money in an incorrect way, and then money gets a bad name. Then you have people who use money in a wonderful way, and they don't really get acknowledged or recognized. But the truth is, money is amplified in the hands of the holder, or the hands of the person who's receiving it, the person who has the money. And we have been taught incorrectly. And I think one of the fundamental places that we've been taught this is in the Bible, that the love of money is evil. But the truth is this: money is love. You are money. I am money. And when you see money as a tool, in this modern day, we use money to exchange for gifts and services. If we were living hundreds of years ago, maybe we'd exchange some cattle, some eggs, some potato, but we didn't stigmatize those things. And think about it really. If money is in the hands of the right people and the conscious people in this world, amazing things will happen. And money will go to grow. Absolutely.
It has to be, because the money in the world is not in the hands of the conscious people at the moment. Like, not all of them, but the people who are leading this planet. So, and it's not like money is going to go away overnight. I've also read and have also fantasized about, those blog posts that I read on social media about all the crystals that are hidden and the gold that's going to get shared and money's going to be abolished. But in the meantime, we still need money. It does represent a level of freedom and choice, which I think all of us want. And because I know that and this is the reason really why I have created this retreat, is because there's a lot of spiritual people who are watching this, who are also, like I was, struggling around a spiritual consciousness, a spiritual mindset about money, wherein we're still like transmuting the shadow of spirituality and money being allowed to be in the same place and happening at the same time. So do you believe, because I believe this, that, and I've experienced this, when I went into poverty consciousness was when I was living in my caravan for 2.5 years. And that's because I turned my back on money. I saw it as low vibrational. I saw it as not being spiritual. I believed that spirit would bring me everything that I needed at that time, including my clients, including money. And, I was in nature. I'd left corporate and I was in nature, and it was like, yes, that's all I want to do, be in nature and have beautiful cacao ceremonies and meditate, and it's all going to happen. But then after 2.5 years, I realized I'd created another version of captivity, that was just as difficult for me to handle as my life in corporate was, because I'd actually gone to the other end of the spectrum, and I'd then got into poverty consciousness. We don't need money. And I was almost at the point where I was not going to be paying my taxes to the government that I owed, because the government is corrupt and all of this stuff, right? This mindset that I'd gone into. And guess what? I couldn't create. Whereas I'd had this incredible track record of creating abundance. I was known in my friendship group as like, wow, Ariella has just got something, right? She's driving around in new Porsches every 6 months. And then here I am living in a caravan, right? And now I've transitioned out of that. And as you know, it's been incredible to see what I've created in the last 2 years. Multiple six-figure business going on 7 figures. But it's in alignment with spirit. But I've still had to take action, and I've had to come out of that consciousness state, which was looking at money like it was bad, low vibrational, and fearing, quite honestly, that I was going to be judged by the spiritual community if I made any. Right? So let's talk into that, because I feel that this is a big point, and it's a big sticking point for a lot of people. You had a similar experience, didn't you? You were a lawyer.
Absolutely. Now, listen to how fun this was. Spirit and allowed me to be in a career where I was in criminal law. So I was the equivalent of a UK barrister here, working for the government. But for the last 14 years of my career, Spirit took me into the money crimes that we've experienced in South Africa, and specifically crimes against the fiscus. Now, the money in the fiscus is there to help improve the quality of the lives of the people of the country.
What does fiscus mean?
The fiscus is your treasury, your revenue service. Okay. So the money that's there, the money of the country is used to improve medical facilities, schooling, housing, to improve the lives of the people. Now, I was dealing with the criminals who were not paying the money in or were stealing the money out of treasury, out of the fiscus. So I had to have this whole attitude because I was protecting the people's rights, but it related to money. And I got to understand over those 14 years how important money is to us, because we can't build homes for the homeless if we don't have money. We can't provide schooling for the children in poor communities if we don't have money to build schools. We can't provide food for the hungry if we don't have money, because everything costs money. Like I said, we don't have a barter system going on across the world. So the whole thing was, I had to look at the different aspects. I had to see people being evil with money, people being bad, people taking other people's money. Mm-hmm. So when I started this whole spiritual journey with understanding money, I got to uncover things about my beliefs about money. How I was told when I was growing up, money doesn't grow on trees. Oh my goodness, do you know how that impacts us? Mm-hmm. It's as if we don't want it. Oh, rich people are evil. So do you think that we want to be rich? No, not at all. Yeah. But you have to delve deeper into it. Mm-hmm. You have to understand that to say, I love money, do you know how I was judged for that? Mm-hmm. When I started the spiritual journey with money, I was judged by my family. I was judged by my colleagues at work because I spoke about money to everybody after that. I made sure everybody understood how important it was for us to pay our taxes, how important it was for us to contribute, how important it was for us to be good stewards of our money. Mm-hmm. Because think about it. We understand like the law of attraction. We understand that what you focus on grows. So the same thing with money. Mm-hmm. If you react to it negatively, then it's going to create a negative situation for you.
Yeah.
So if you want money to be used for good, then treat money well.
Yeah.
Respect money. Love money, and don't be afraid. And like you say, in the spiritual community, it's as if, it's like taboo. Oh, I cannot talk about money. I will not interact with money, but yet I love to do all these amazing things. Because think about it, Ariella, how many people in the spiritual community just want to give their gifts for free to others?
Absolutely.
Okay? And that's such a wonderful, generous thing to do. But if you're living in lack, if you're living somewhere, you know what it was, you lived in a caravan. Mm-hmm. You couldn't really serve in a way that you are now serving. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole thing about money in the spiritual community. And I've journeyed through this in the last couple of years, where I loved money, then I rejected it. I loved it and I rejected it. Mm-hmm. And it was because I was getting to understand my conditioning, my societal conditioning. Being a woman, we have certain beliefs about money, about how much we can earn or we cannot earn. Mm-hmm. Coming from a community that came here mostly as indentured laborers into the country. We were the immigrants, so that immigrant mentality. You have all this different type of conditioning. But there's something so interesting. It doesn't matter where we come from across the world, but in the spiritual world, we actually still want to hold on to that concept that money is evil. Mm-hmm. But like you said, money's not going to go away. It's here to stay.
Well, I think as well, and I love your message there, and I know because I can feel spiritual energy moving through my body as we're talking. So I know that there's some activations and there's some energy being shared with our audience, and I want to take it a little to the next level deeper, right? Because this is what's present for me, and this is what I'm also seeing, and it's going to help some people who are watching this to also see these limiting beliefs, because they can be sneaky and insidious, these limiting beliefs. And you might be watching this thinking, well, I don't reject money, right? And I've had plenty of clients say to me, I don't have any limiting beliefs about money. It can't be true, because we are all the creators of our reality. So there must be something going on which is sabotaging this, first of all. So I think we need to open up to, well, what is that? And look deeper. Now, here's what I'm present to at the moment. And if I'm present to at the moment, I know I need to share it because it's happening for some other people. You might have in your consciousness, yes, I'm open to receiving money. Yes, I'm open to creating money. But what happens is you then start taking the action steps towards fulfilling that reality. And then something comes up for you on the journey that you have created that makes you start doubting your journey. So, for example, you're that's it. Okay, I'm receiving my abundance. I'm going to be creating money. I'll hire a mentor. I'll hire a coach. Yeah, and I'll go on a journey. And like I'll follow the coaching, and this is what happens. Then, and this does happen, and it's happening in my reality at the moment. And then people start the journey and they start realizing the road is a little bit tougher. Yeah, because in their heads, it's like, I want money, but I want money whilst I'm sat in nature with birds flying around my head, drinking cacao and like doing the right? And the reality is, and this is what's going on a lot in the spiritual community, it takes hard work still. It takes effort. It takes, when you set that intention to like break through some limiting beliefs, you're going to create resistance for yourself on the path, and you're going to create tests for yourself and challenges. And it's going to bring up initiations where you have to face aspects of yourself that you would rather not face. And maybe you have to put yourself in situations that bring up fear for you. You know, even what we're doing at the moment, Mona, like a few years ago, right? It would have been, you know, this is going to be broadcast to thousands of people. It would have brought up a lot of fear in me. I'd have had to have had my notes here and be reading everything, right? It's like, you know, you step through these blocks. And now, like, you know, like you, because you're a mentor also, you're serving clients one-to-one. You were speaking on Lisa Nichols' stage 2 weeks ago, right? And Lisa Nichols got like a million people, followers. You were speaking on her stage in South Africa in front of 3,000 people. So I'm sure that brought up, and I know it did because I'm coaching you, I'm sure that brought up some resistance, right? So what is the difference? Like, let's talk about this, because why do we keep on showing up, right? Because it's not like we are designed much differently than anybody watching this. We still have fears. We still have insecurities. We have all of those limiting beliefs. I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough. What will people think? All of it. It goes on and on and on and on and on, right? Like, what is it? What I would say is it's our drive. It's our divine drive. And it's our commitment. And this is the generosity, right? Because we're looping back now. This is the generosity. It's not about us. It's not about us.
Exactly.
And it's not about anybody who's watching this.
No.
It's about this incredible time that we're all here on earth. And it's about like changing the world together. And when the hard work and the tests come up, and I want to be at home underneath my duvet as opposed to getting on a plane, which I'm still terrified of, right? Brings up all of my like anxiety, why do I do it? It's because I know that it's greater than me. It's bigger than me. Yeah, and there's always a solution. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think this is important for us to share with it's not just like, okay, I'm ready to receive my money, ta-da. You're going to have to get out of your comfort. Yeah. We all need to face ourselves, right? But it's a beautiful journey. I mean, let's talk about the beauty of the journey. How did it feel for you being on Lisa Nichols' stage, 3,000 people in South Africa?
Exactly, right? Now, Lisa Nichols has got a following of 59 million. Okay. 59 million following. Oh. Yes. So on that day, it was about 3,000 people in the room, and on live stream, a couple of tens of thousands of others. So when I got onto stage, and this is just the beauty of it, like you shared, we are constantly evolving. So all types of stuff, our shadow keeps showing up for us.
Yeah.
But every time we transcend, and that's what you teach as well about, Ariella, you hone in on the shadow side, that our gifts lie in our shadows, right? So when I went and I stood up there, I didn't plan to say what I had planned. I had a slightly different angle to it. But what came out was not within my control. It just came out, and like you correctly said, that was spirit guiding me. That was channeling. And that's what happened. Because, and when I got
there, amazing. I watched that video back and I was like, I'm looking at the next, to me, you're like the female Nelson Mandela. Like you're the next big leader. So, and you can see that. Like when you were on that stage, it was nothing short but like channeled love and genius that you were radiating and was coming out of your mouth. It was a moment, right?
Yeah.
It was a huge moment for you.
Absolutely. And the best part was that after I did that and I got off that stage, everybody was coming towards me. Every visibility, I was being seen, I was heard. I had just done something. I had like removed that cloak of invisibility that, we all put over ourselves now and again. And it was as if the whole room was focused, because even where we were sitting, it wasn't at the back of the room, it was in the side of the room. So the whole room's watching you. And then what did I do the following day? I went and put on my cloak of invisibility. And what did I notice? People who were all flocking towards me the previous day were all now like as if they walked past me and they couldn't see me. But I quickly caught myself. I noticed what I had done. Because to be seen, and like you say, if you say that was channeled, if you shared now what you shared about what you sensed from me, it would make sense. How dare I be like the female version of a Nelson Mandela? How can I, this little girl, because a little girl jumps in, who grew up in an area in South Africa, which was a marginalized society, now have such big aspirations in the world. So that's what we all do. But you and I have chosen, like you said, this is bigger than us.
Yeah.
We have become fearless.
Yeah.
And that's part of what I do with my clients is I'm not interested in who you were or what you are right now. I'm interested in who you're becoming. Because that journey is a scary journey. And you have to be, there's certain words you can't use in certain programs. You have to have steel, you have to have steel little round things to be able to go out. Yes, balls. You have to have steel balls to go out there and do this, because we are going to be criticized. We are going to be ridiculed.
Yeah.
People are going to make fun of us. They still do now in any event.
That's life.
Yeah. But we are, like you say, we have transcended that it's about us. It's not about us now. We're just the vessel. We're just the vessel. And like you said, you've met me, I'm this petite person, and I go up there and I'm wielding the sword that I'm going to change South Africa. I'm going to change the world, you know?
Yeah. So, I love it. This is why I love working with you. And it's not just talk with you. Your heart is in complete alignment with your words. You believe that you can do it. There's a big part of you that believes that you can do it. And I know you can do it. And I want to give that reflection to everybody who is watching this now, because this is not about us. You know, we are just mirrors. We are just representations from spirits that are hopefully inspiring you to step forwards into your power and to claim your power and to claim your abundance and to ignite and connect with some of the divine drive, which you can feel and you can see that we definitely share. And I want everybody to experience that, because when you have that divine drive and when you're cooler, when your vision is bigger than your fears and your shadow, you will change the world. You know, you will change the world and you will become unstoppable. You know, and we need people in the spiritual community who are unstoppable and who have ignited and activated that divine drive and power within themselves, because we've got a lot of work to do in the world, and we need leaders now stepping up and stepping forwards, prepared to do the inner work, the sacred work, the heart work, prepared to take responsibility for their creations, and prepared to do whatever is necessary in alignment with their soul, with their gifts, to like free all of us from these shackles, from the limitations, you know, and from the neglect that we have all experienced. You know, we are going into the next era, and it is an era of love, but it's also an era of activated divine power, because love without power, the right type of power, it will not create results. Not on this earthly dimension. We need to have both. So, Mona, I want you to share about your free gift now, but I really hope and I feel that, and please take some of this energy. I know that there will be some sensitive people. I'm a very sensitive person. Mona's very sensitive. We're empaths watching this, right? But also this energy that is being channeled through, which I truly believe is coming through from source as we're speaking. Please take this energy and go out and create something incredible with it today. We don't just want this to be information. We do want to inspire you, but we also want to motivate you into taking action. So like maybe write down in your journals, like what is the one action, one physical action that you can take today that moves you just that one step closer to connecting with your higher calling, to activating your abundance. You know, even if it's just like Mona was saying, going out there and being generous with your smile today. I loved that. Just a different change of behavior. You know, if we don't change our behavior, then we're going to keep manifesting the same results. Mona, what is your free gift?
Well, my free gift is a masterclass. It's an audio recording of a masterclass titled The Invisible Saboteur of Your Abundance. And I promise you, you will be pleasantly surprised what it is, because it is those different layers that we have to move out of our way. Like you said, Ariella, we may have the intention to take or go on a specific path, but there's other little things that are in the invisible realm that are impacting us, or taking the divine aligned action, because we seem to be going on a path and then we'll go off another path. And in that masterclass, I share what this is. I share how to deal with this. And then I even give you 5 steps to activate your abundance immediately. Now, there's one thing that you have to know about me. I'm about simplicity. Life is simple. We complicate it way too much. And it is in those little steps that we take consistently that the bigger goals and our bigger dreams and our bigger visions evolve. Because too often we just want to jump from, we know we can quantum jump. So as you stated, Ariella, we have to first go through this human parts of our life before we can get to the quantum jumping, the instantaneous manifestation. Mm-hmm. So that is what I remind people to do, and especially in the spiritual community. It's the little steps, and it's steps that you may have heard about. You may even practice it. But when you start practicing it with me, remember, it's loaded with spirit energy as well. So when you do it now, you're not just doing it as routine, you're doing it as a ritual. And I'm also offering to the first 30 people who sign up for the free gift, a free 30-minute abundance activation session. So it doesn't matter which area of your life that you want to activate abundance in. You will have the opportunity to activate that with me. So to the first 30 people who sign up, you will have this incredible opportunity to experience me one-on-one to activate your abundance.
That is super generous and super awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your gifts with the viewers. So the mastermind is pre-recorded, right? But the 30-minute session that you're offering to the first 30 and 30, right? Mm-hmm. Is live in person with you, which is, that's generous. I mean, sharing 30 minutes, what is that? So that's 15 hours of your time. Yep. Okay. Yep. So that is super generous. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate your light and your generous heart and your wisdom on this retreat. Thank you so much for your presence, for sharing your gifts.
Thank you, Ariella.
And I absolutely encourage everybody to definitely sign up to, I love the title as well, about what was it again? The
invisible saboteur of your abundance.
Invisible saboteur of your abundance. And it's 5 steps within that of where you're going to be taking people on a journey so they can start unlocking these abundance codes. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is awesome. The first 30 people get a free session with you. That's amazing. So I encourage everybody to click on the link, sign up to Mona's free gifted, beautiful masterclass, which is going to activate you even more. And I recommend that you do it as quickly as you can after watching this video today, whilst you're still in the energy. It's going to activate you a hell of a lot if you do it within this energy. So go to that link, download this beautiful gift, and 30 of you are very lucky, incredible, beautiful souls, because Mona, as you can see, I'm a big fan of Mona's, and she's here to do good in the world, a lot of good. So it's a very valuable service that you're offering, Mona, and thank you again for being on this retreat. And it has just been an honor to be your mentor. Thank you for trusting me, and thank you for being my ideal customer avatar who inspires me to keep on showing up as well. It's a two-way street, so I thank you for that.
Thank you, Ariella, for this generous offer. And you see, like-minded people hang out together. So I thank you for all your wisdom, all your encouragement, and for being there for me, because this is what it's about. This is the generosity of you as a mentor and a coach to me. Thank you.
Thank you. I receive. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody who has watched this. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please stay with us in this journey of this incredible virtual retreat, where we are going to be going deeper and deeper into these abundance codes. And yes, that does include money. Money is love. I love that quote. I'm writing that down. Money is love. Absolutely. And we look forward to going deeper with you in this journey and supporting you with your highest activation as is possible. Earth needs you, needs all of us to be up and running, and needs all of us thriving. And that definitely includes being in an abundant energy. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, blessings, and namaste.